he said he was created all these jobs, and the movie pretty illustrates that he didn't. Now, what he did at Bain Capital is part of the capitalistic system, but it certainly wasn't creating jobs, and that was our central argument. That, by the way, shouldn't have been surprising to anybody who's followed Mitt Romney's career. I mean, he's claimed to be pro-life, pro-family, he's claimed to be for small businesses, claimed to defend the Second Amendment rights, and none of these things were true as governor either, so I'm not sure why they got so upset about the jobs claim.
And in terms of the critique that you've been leveling of Bain, is this something you intend to push in Florida?
We'll see. I mean, there was a case today that we know about. There's the company called Bain, which Mitt Romney was involved in. They're in the healthcare field, and it turns out when he was on the board of Bain, which he invested in Bain, and Mitt Romney advocated, Boston Globe reported he advocated investing in Damon. And Damon defrauded or took they filed fraudulent Medicare claims of $25 million. They were fined $119 million, which at the time, and may still be, the largest criminal fine ever in Massachusetts history. He was on the board of that company, and so people need to know that company ultimately went bankrupt. Thousands of people again lost their jobs, and yet Bain made $12 million on the deal.
So we met a gentleman here while we were in South Carolina whose father had been at Georgetown Steel Mill, lost his position there. The pushback from the establishment and from Mitt Romney has been that you are criticizing not his work but capitalism generally, and that you're anti-free enterprise. This was a clear emphasis in Mitt Romney's speech tonight that the Republican Party cannot nominate somebody who's anti-free enterprise.
Yeah, and that wasn't our argument, though. I mean, our argument was you have in free enterprise, they like to point out shelters the gales of creative destruction, which is correct. And what that means is when Henry Ford invents the assembly line to create the automobile, that the horse and buggy is going to go by the way of the horse and buggy. And Apple computers and laptop computers made Smith Corona obsolete, and so these companies become obsolete and they die, or they compete. Some do and some don't, and that's certainly a valid theory, and that is part of the capitalist system. But Mitt Romney's claim was different than that. Bain Capital wasn't organized to create jobs; it was organized to create a great return for investors, and he certainly did that. His record is he's returned a profit of 92% of his deals, but yet a third of his companies went out of business. So I understand in business, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, but at Bain, sometimes you win and sometimes you win. And the thing was with GSI Steel in particular was they went into that company, and maybe someone can make an argument that the company was obsolete and needed to be dismantled. But he went in and loaded the company with debt. It was $531 million in debt. The pension fund got shorted $44 million. The federal taxpayer made up that $44 million. So the taxpayers paid off the pensions that they left short. Yet, Bain made $17 million in that deal. Now, that's legal, but sometimes what you can do doesn't mean you have to do it.